Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Offensive Penetration Testing course, Hackers' Main Tools. My name is Alejandro Guinea, and I'll be your instructor for today's lesson. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode number 9, Burp Suite. Some learning objectives for this session is to understand the most common Burp Suite functionalities and options. Also use Burp Suite to implement hacking and information gathering techniques. So let's get down to business. Well, first of all, let me just tell you that I downloaded a virtual machine from the BWAP webpage. BWAP is just it's an application, a web server that is really vulnerable. It actually has several vulnerabilities, so you can practice on your own. But we'll be using that later in the course. But for now, you just need to know that we'll be using the virtual machine dedicated for that, which is called the B-Box. You just need to download it, and that's it. So I have it right here. This is, the IP where I have it, and the login. Actually, the credentials are in the clear right there. And, it's really vulnerable, but just let me log in. And as you can see, it has a lot of vulnerabilities we can play with. Nothing really to be, But for now, you just need to know that we'll be using that machine. Well, Burp Suite is a proxy. I know you guys already know what a proxy is, but just to put it in simple words, a proxy is like a middleman that sits between your machine or the client and the web server, or the server itself. But why would you do that? I mean, why bother to add another step in your connection? Well, first of all, it anonymizes your traffic. Sometimes. That's really important. That's a really important feature when you're trying to hide your traffic. Maybe you're trying to perform a pen testing against a server, but you don't really want to show your real IP or show where the traffic is coming from. You can also use it for other purposes, but as for a penetration testing process, that's, I guess, the most common use for that. You can use it combined with other tools like proxy chains and the Tor network, but we'll discuss that later in the course. All of this, of course, for legal purposes. I mean, don't use it to hide your traffic from your corporate network, or maybe to avoid being filtered by your company policy, and maybe surf through social media or something like that. Just legal stuff. That's the point. Now, why Burp Suite? Well, Burp Suite will intercept the connection to your web server, and you can do several tasks over that connection. Analyze traffic, change cookies, test different responses and packages, spider the web server, and so on. But first, let me tell Burp Suite where to listen. We're in the proxy. We're in the web browser, and we have to tell them that to listen to go to Burp Suite first. So let me just start Burp Suite first. I don't have it up to date as for now. Later, maybe temporary project just to show you guys. Start the Burp. And first, we need to know where Burp Suite will be listening. So you can go to the proxy and then to options. And then you see that it will be listening in the local interface in port 8080. So now you can go to your browser. Whatever browser you're using, and just go. In this case, you go to settings. Don't specifically follow this with the browser. You might be using a different browser or different stuff. So, the point is that you have to actually tell the proxy that there's a proxy. To tell the web browser that there's a proxy in the middle and where it will be listening. So as you can see, I'm telling you have to go to my local interface on port 8080 first before any connection happens. And as you can see in Burp Suite, it will be listening here. So we're good to go. So we set that, and from now on, any connection to any web page, it will go to the proxy the Burp proxy. But again, what's the use of that? What's the purpose of that? Well, let me just go here to the login web page again. Oh well, you have to, of course, tell it to. I mean, intercept is on. You can turn it off if you don't want to intercept the traffic, but intercept is on as for now. So let me just go ahead and log in here again. Big bug, nothing to see here. And as you can see, something changed color here, which is telling me that, B will be here and bug will be here. So as you can see, we can change a lot of stuff. For example, if we don't have, maybe we're not sure about the password, or, maybe we're not sure about the cookie or something like that, we can change it right here. You can tell me, but hey, there are other web browsers plugins that you can actually use to do that. For example, Hackbar. This is an amazing plugin. But I agree with that. But the point is that you can do a lot of stuff. For example, spidering, scanner. By the way, I'm using the free version of Burp. You can actually use the paid version of it. And if you actually are really invested in testing web applications, or vulnerability in web applications, I highly recommend you to go with the paid version. It has a lot of more stuff you can actually do than with the free version. But as for now, the free version will do the work. Again, you can use the intruder, the repeater, this sequencer, decoder. I mean, we'll see all of them at a time. As for now, we just first need to make a sitemap. This will prevent us from, let me just go here. This will prevent us from actually going to something. Let me just forward this, and I'm logged in. That's the point. As you can see, sorry about that. As you can see, we already logged in and we saw all the information sitting in the middle here. But, we need to define or target. Why is that? Because if we're going to use the spider capability or actually any other capabilities, we don't want this to run out of control. We don't, as you can see, there are several other pages involved here. And why do you think is that? I mean, we were just running for this web page, but why do you think this is actually happening? Well, we see Twitter here, Facebook. I mean, we don't want to scan Facebook or Twitter. We'll get into troubles. So this happens because these web pages or these links are located somewhere in this web page, maybe in the source code, or maybe there's a reference pointing to that link or something like that. So what Burp does is to gathers all that information and put it in the target tab. So we don't want to actually scan those web pages or links. So we can add at the site we really care about in the scope. I mean, you see the scope here. Because, we just want to actually, you can just go here and add here the scope and go to this web page and copy here. As simple as that. And add right here. Okay. You have added an item target scope. Do you want Burp proxy to stop sending out of scope items to the history? Yeah, we want that. But you can see that we're actually having a scope defined. And the point here, we can just click here and show only in scope items. This will prevent from the scans to go nuts in other web page. And, that will prevent us from doing malicious stuff on other servers we don't care about. But that's the point. As simple as that. You can actually see that there's some information in here already. Login, it saved the password or the phrase that we're using to log in. Other stuff right here. But this is the magic of Burp Suite. It doesn't just really intercept connection. It gathers all that information on, or all that intel, so we can play around later. But what's the point of Spider then? I mean, the Spider isn't supposed to do that, and we never click a Spider. But well, it can build more data and go further in the scan. Remember, we have to limit our scope. Again, if we don't do that, the Spider will go through all the links we saw before, and we might end up in trouble. So I start a test, just proxy here. I'm sorry, Spider options, and we have a lot of options in here. You can stop the spider at any time, and you can just go in any page. That's okay. The point is here that you can limit here what to gather, what to go, prompt for guidance, don't submit login forms, for example. If we don't want to log in to the pages and just ignore the pages that we're actually scanning for, edit some stuff right here, and we can start a Spider. A Spider is running and is gathering information. Use Suite Scope, define in target lab. Yeah, we actually want to do that, and stop the Spider. And we go to target. You can see that there's a lot of information in here. We see a page name evil, which PHP admin, SQLite, way more information, portal, reset, security level set. A lot of information you can go actually use in here to do some other stuff. But let me again go to proxy intercepts on, and let me just log off so I can show you the page. Okay, I have to forward here, forward to log off. And what's the magic again of Burp Suite? We can use several other capabilities that for example, other plugins don't have. For example, let me just try to log in here. Bach and log in. Okay, first of all, let's go to Burp Suite again, and action, for example, send to intruder. And what this does is that it actually, payloads. It actually, you can define one or more payloads here. It actually performs a payload list processing. You can actually, let me just go here. And for example, we don't want to change this. I mean, this can stay the same. This can stay the same. This can also stay the same. And these other two stuff can stay the same. But actually, we want to change what the login and password variables have. For example, maybe we're not sure about what's the username or what's the password. We can do this, and in payload options, you can actually add or remove. In the paid version of Burp Suite, you have way more capabilities than this option that I'm showing you here. Just and you can actually add a payload and add from list, pro version only. There's a list here, but you can actually upload, for example, here word list that comes with Kali Linux. For example, Roku.txt is a word list that most of the time is used to crack passwords. So you can do that. I mean, you can actually go ahead and do that. We're not going to do that because we already know the password, but that's the point. If you maybe don't know the password, or maybe for some reason you have the password but you don't have the username, you can also do that. I mean, you can change again positions and say, hey, you know what? I don't actually want to change the username because I got it through social engineering or whatever, but I actually don't know the password. So I will, change the password, and I will try all these options. That's the point of the intruder. Let me just go ahead and send it to repeater again. The repeater is going to take the parameters you may have, and it will see what's the response. For example, what will happen if we actually change here and we put something like secret or something like that, and if we say go, it will tell us what's the response. And the magic of this is you can see a lot of the response in several formats. For example, headers, hexadecimal, HTML, raw, and you can even render the response. That's some good stuff right here, guys. For example, an extremely boogie app. Yeah, we know that. Invalid credentials or user not activated. Okay, I know that. So let me see what happens if I put the correct password. Bug. And I go again. Go, go. Oh, I didn't get to do that. Okay, so that's the point. You can actually go here and as many times follow redirection, and log in. And the security level login, it doesn't say anything about me putting something that is not actually there. And if you go to the web page, we're still trying to log in. Remember, this is still loading. I mean, this hasn't gone to the web server. The original response is still here in the proxy. I haven't forwarded that. So that's another thing that you can, actually do in Burp Suite, and kind of a big deal to me. Sequencer, for example, you can go to sequencer and manual log a lot of any sequence you may want, and maybe change the cookie or change, for example, you know that the password policy for that business is to have a number in the first 3 digits. I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3. Try, creating word list based on that policy. For example, I know that it has to start with a capital letter or an uppercase letter, but it has to end with a number, or it has to end with a symbol. So maybe you can create your patterns and, try to do that. And you have a lot of stuff. Maybe you are getting an answer or a reply from a server, but it's encoded. So you can go ahead and decode it as well and compare. And, a lot of options you can actually use in Burp Suite. And it is not only until I say, okay, forward that I actually log into the application. So again, Burp Suite has that capability and way more other capability that you can use in the Pro version. What is proxy and how can we use it in our penetration testing process? Well, actually, you can use it to hide your traffic, or to tell the server that you're actually coming from a different IP or different maybe country or whatever. But yeah, you can do that. And you can also use it to intercept connections, so you can change them, maybe change the cookie or change the information. What does it mean when someone says spidering a web page? Well, it's actually trying all the possibilities to see what pages are existent and maybe find some other information, login forms, cookies and files and whatever. They're actually trying to map the web page itself, so you can have an idea of what information is contained in that web server. What can be achieved by the repeater? Well, actually, you can change information and send it several times to the web server to see what's the reply or the response from the web server. Maybe you're trying to guess a password, to maybe change the password several times and see what's the response, so you can actually get an idea if the password you're trying to use is correct. In this video, we saw the most common Burp Suite options to perform various web page hacking techniques. We executed some options over a web page to see what functionalities and the results. Supplemental materials, I will highly recommend you to go through the Bugcrowd University course. They have a really specialized course for Burp Suite. Looking forward, in the next video, we'll cover some basic knowledge of Metasploit. Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video and talk to you soon.